This must be very close to you, this loss.
Anand, General Bipin Rawat was my junior in NDA. We did high command course together, and we served on appointments, parallel appointments alongside. And as I went along in my career, he was my junior, but I started developing respect for him. Great amount of respect for him. Higher command, we spent 1 year every day. We used to go for a walk for about 1.5 hours. He was a keen learner. He didn't know too much about mechanized operations at that stage. So he would bombard me with questions and try and get the feel of everything. Only on 29th of October we were together, and he was so passionately speaking about the theater commands, jointness, and his vision. And about the welfare of veterans also, and Atmanirbhar thing, because he had come to Terminal Ballistic Research Lab. So, Anand, I would through you like to say the best tribute we can pay to our departed general, who was such an illustrious general, self-made, and Madhulika, is to fulfill their dreams. All of us must work towards completing this dream about theater commands, about jointness, Atmanirbhar in defense technology, and the welfare of veterans. With so passionately they were speaking about, everything is fresh in my mind. It happened on 29th October, and I feel as if they're part of our family, because my wife Anita was, oh, every day they were in touch with Madhulika, who was one of the finest persons, very simple, grounded, down to earth. So we've lost a great soldier, a great couple, and I would sincerely pray for peace to departed soul, condolence to family, the two wonderful daughters, their grandchild, and also I would like to, through all of you, let's all put our shoulders together and fulfill their dreams. That is the tribute we must pay to General and Mrs. Bipin Rawat.
True, 12 families and the next of kin will be in mourning today. There will be a 13th family which will be very, very worried, and our prayers with them for a speedy recovery of Group Captain Varun Singh. That is something which we'll continue to keep saying again and again, because it is collective prayers that can help Group Captain Varun Singh recover and also come back to full health. That's what we can hope and pray for, because the impact, the visuals were very disturbing, ladies and gentlemen. There are a lot of portions of the visuals that we've withheld from broadcast because they're very disturbing. But it only points to something, that something went wrong. This aircraft or this Hepter did not crash land. It crashed. It just banged into a tree. That's what witnesses are also saying. We'll play out the eyewitness reactions in just a bit. Let me just bring in Major General SVP Singh and Major General G.G. Dwivedi for a quick comment before we move forward and talk a little more about the Hepter and what happened there. Major General SVP Singh, General Bipin Rawat had this vision, and he was somebody who was the first, India's first CDS, something which we've been asking for a long time. He was also somebody who did not hold back. He said, he spoke his mind, and sometimes he ruffled a few feathers. He did also rub people the wrong way. His comments about the Air Force and its role did not go down well with a lot of people within the Air Force. But his intent was always Bharat. His intent was always that it has to be integrated and everybody has to work collectively. He also was a strong champion of mechanizing our armed forces and also trying to build our own stable rather than depend on other nations for supplies.
Yes, Anand, you said it all. Well, I will describe General Rawat, but at the first instance, my heartfelt condolences to his daughters and to also the other who have perished in this, to their families, my heartfelt condolences. Well, I would describe General Bipin Rawat as a soldier statesman extraordinary. He was a man with a mission. He saw the macro vision on a larger canvas. And he was one of the generals who had in him, he had in his cerebral self, the geopolitical, the global vision. And by so doing, he inducted many reforms firstly as the army chief, at the army headquarters level, and they were all aimed towards the strategic aspect. And as he rose to be the chief of defense staff, he put into the wheel to move as fast as it could. It was as if he was moving on a tearaway calendar for his tenure. The theaterization, which I think was a pet project with him, has moved at such a swift pace, because when it was spoken about, it was felt it will not come through. But by the month of April, May, we are expecting that this will be debated in its final form. Now, that is General Rawat. And he got a number of other reforms which have not been spoken about much. But, I will again go back to it when he was the army chief. The integrated battle group concept, which he has enunciated, post-Kargil, we had the integrated groups coming for a faster mobilization. But in this, integrated battle groups was optimization of fighting on the battlefront, which is, I think, a great achievement as it will come about. He also had reforms for our all ranks, getting them an equivalent status. I can just spell out, you see, the brigadier's rank doesn't have an equivalence in the civil administration. So he had come out with a very good thought. Do away with the rank of brigadier and have major generals as integrated battle group commanders. Now, this was his vision. He was putting equivalence for the status of his own officers and as chief of defense for all ranks. So General Rawat, his achievements have been no less. You have described his tenures, but I would like to tell you that is not only in the north and the east, he was also the brigade commander in Congo with the UN peacekeeping force, where he excelled himself. When he was commander of the 5th sector in Kashmir Valley, there was an operation, I do not recall the name of the hotel, but there was a siege laid, and he himself personally directed that operation to its success. Now, that was a General Rawat, man on the ground, be it a junior battalion commander or a higher field commander. He had it in him in every possible way. It's a great loss for the armed forces. We have lost our highest ranking officer. It's a great loss for the nation. And I'm sure the way he articulated himself in the government circles at the highest level with the Prime Minister and the Defense Minister, he will be missed very dearly in the coming days.
True.
In the coming days, he'll be missed very dearly. And I will again repeat, a soldier statesman extraordinary.
Yes, and he had a vision of how and who a soldier should be and what our armed forces should be. So he had talked about Naam, Nishan, Izzat, and these attributes which are going to be, which are what we need to strive for and we as soldiers would need to work for. That was his message. And he wanted every citizen to be a soldier, not just those who are in the armed forces. But his vision, his belief was that everybody in our country, every Indian citizen had a role to play towards ensuring that Bharat and all Bharatiya were safe. That was his larger vision too, and that's why he commanded so much of respect, and youngsters loved to listen to him, and he was great in articulating his thoughts. But the other aspect is that even someone like Madhulika Rawat ji, she's also done a lot with the Army Wives Welfare Association and now with the Defence Wives Welfare Association. All the others who have lost who we have lost today, they were all soldiers of this country who were doing their duty, and they were very, very good at what they did.